Hello, and welcome to Labor Market Information and Service Planning at a Crossroads. My name is Summer Burton from Literacy Link South Central. I'd like to take the next 20 minutes to discuss local labor market information and how it can be used to plan services. At the end of this session, I'll tell you about exciting local opportunities for collaboration. Together, we can increase our collective ability to help those who are unemployed and to strengthen our overall workforce. Local Employment Planning Councils, or LEPCs, are pilot projects currently underway across the province of Ontario. These pilots are funded in part by the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario. Literacy Link South Central is a partner in our Local Employment Planning Council, along with the Elgin, Middlesex, Oxford Workforce Planning and Development Board. We represent the LEPC that covers the London Economic Region, including the counties of Middlesex, Oxford, and Elgin. Local employment planning councils are attempting to strengthen the connection between local labor market demands and the community of service providers that support job seekers. To do this well, we must have a working knowledge of two things: local labor market information, or LMI, and how to plan our services to prepare people for employment within our individual communities. Why should these two topics be important to you? We've heard over and over, especially through the media, that our workforce is ill-prepared to meet the demands of today's jobs. As service providers, we're responsible for providing skills training and support to prepare people for employment. It's up to us to know what employment opportunities exist and what employee expectations are. Recently, the Auditor General's report called on the Ontario government to use labor market information to ensure that skills training funding aligns with the trades and professions where employees are in demand. With that in mind, it's foreseeable that local services, government-funded ones in particular, may need to demonstrate their ability to use local labor market information. By increasing our knowledge and coming together to plan for services around local LMI, we can further measure whether or not we're hitting our mark. Our community will be stronger and more successful when we work together as an integrated system, giving us the ability to collectively see gaps and collectively develop programming to respond to community and labor market needs. The Local Employment Planning Council has created a series of reports to better prepare current and future job seekers for changing demands in today's labor market. New information is regularly released and made available to the public on both the Local Employment Planning Council website and on the Work Trends website, both of which are shown on your screen. The LAPC is also creating a 5-part series that explore the evolution of skills required to be successful in key employment sectors, including agriculture, transportation and logistics, manufacturing, healthcare, and retail. These 5 sectors play a significant role in our economy and in defining our workforce. By reviewing the first 3 reports in this series, we'll begin to see a picture of local employment needs and future areas of growth. The Labor Market Report Exploring Agriculture begins by observing that agriculture is undergoing a radical shift in productivity, and the workforce needs to adapt. Farming now demands increased record-keeping and reporting by farmers. Technology is changing the skills required to operate the farm and farming-specific machinery. Careers in this sector are expanding, and now there's an increased mention of the trades that are needed to support equipment maintenance and the ever-changing mechanization of farming. The Exploring Agriculture report also tells us that the farming industry is becoming increasingly sophisticated and complex. Technology and machinery is becoming increasingly valuable. Productivity is also increasing. Most farms are now quite large, and the smaller ones are slowly disappearing. The greenhouse industry will continue to grow, bringing with it a need for advancement in technology and energy conservation. Expect to see more clean tech and green tech companies established. Increases in measuring, controlling, and reporting on environmental impact can also be expected. Based on this report, we can see that to be successful in the agriculture industry, some of the required skills include record keeping, government reporting, equipment maintenance, and the skills required to buy and sell products for large farming operations. For more information about the changing agriculture sector in our area, we encourage you to review the report using the link on your screen. The supply chain, transportation, and logistics sector is defined in this report as a system of businesses, people, activities, information, and resources involved in moving a product or service from supplier to customer. This includes the manufacturing for retail, transportation, warehousing, and distribution. The report further breaks down each of these areas into typical jobs found in each category. The London economic region is home to hundreds of vibrant business sectors which both feed and use the supply chain. This area is known as a manufacturing region, but it is also a major transportation hub. Distribution facilities, warehousing, and large and small transportation companies are a big part of the economy in this industry sector. This report explains that when we're talking about transportation, we're not just talking about trucks, but also air and rail, freight, and passenger services. This industry has long-term employment opportunities for advancement on many levels. As with most industries, technology is having an effect. Here, automation is increasing and logistics are becoming more complex, especially with the introduction of modern navigation systems. However, there is a lack of understanding about this industry and a low awareness of the opportunities available, so employee recruitment is an issue. This industry continues to implement innovative processes to increase efficiencies and to retain a competitive advantage. In light of this, it's not surprising that this labor market report states, due to the changing nature of jobs, predefined technical knowledge and capabilities will become less important, while skills to adapt and learn new competencies and lifelong learning will be put at a premium. In addition to a knowledge of logistical functions and the supply chain, there are several skills that are desirable within the sector, including financial planning, analyzing costs, speaking multiple languages, having strong mechanical skills, a background knowledge of laws and regulations surrounding the supply chain, and general management and business skills. It's worth noting that this isn't a comprehensive list of all of the skills required, and we encourage you to read the full report for more details using the link on your screen. The Advanced Manufacturing Report offers insights into the challenging world of manufacturing. Interestingly, in our region, many people hear manufacturing and think of large companies with hundreds of employees. In reality, small and medium-sized businesses with less than 50 employees make up 85% of manufacturing in our region. Advances in technology are contributing to increased productivity and efficiencies, and the skill sets of workers in the manufacturing industry must change as well. The report states employers are hoping to find experienced labor with strong technical expertise in manufacturing. In this report, it was surprising to read that 89% of manufacturing employers report recruitment challenges in the Southern Ontario region, yet 8,300 new workers will be required in the next 10 years. The Advanced Manufacturing Report refers to the changing manufacturing industry as the fourth industrial revolution. We are introduced to the term labor substituting technology, indicating that manual labor is being replaced by advanced computerized systems. As this sector grows, the greatest hiring demands will be around senior management, the skilled trades, and technical occupations. Highly technical skills related to programming and operating computer-controlled tools will be in demand. Data from computerized machinery will be regularly reviewed and interpreted, so employees well-versed in data analysis will be highly valued. Knowledge of green technologies and environmentally friendly processes will also be beneficial. We now know that the required skills for the future of manufacturing in our area include data mining and analysis, the creation and implementation of green technologies, an ability to work with robotics and programmable computers, and comfort with technology like 3D printers. Skilled tradespeople will remain in high demand, and as an FYI, a comprehensive list of what those trades are is also provided in this report, which you can access using the link on your screen. Throughout each report, we see common threads related to skills required in today's labor market. Beyond industry-specific skills and knowledge, teamwork, leadership, decision-making, and communication skills, including effective speaking, reading, and writing, are continually listed as must-haves. With the advancement of technology creating so many changes in each sector, we know that regardless of which jobs they're targeting, our workforce must have an ability and willingness to learn, an acquisitive mind for problem solving, comfort with technology, and a desire to explore how things work. So what does labor market information, or LMI, have to do with service delivery? It's a good question. After all, isn't LMI some vague notion of what's happening with jobs and in the labor market? Well, not anymore. Employment Ontario offers a suite of programs designed to provide employment and training services to job seekers and employers, apprenticeship training to students seeking certification and employment in a skilled trade, and literacy and numeracy skills for people who lack the basic education necessary for employment. We sometimes refer to these programs, employment, apprenticeship, and literacy and basic skills, as the three legs of the Employment Ontario stool. Now, as you can see on this slide, one of the observations made by the Auditor General was that the Ministry lacks the detailed and timely labor market information necessary to both improve existing programs and develop new ones to meet the current and future labor needs of Ontario. It's increasingly important that service delivery organizations not just refer to LMI when working with clients, but that services be designed and implemented based on LMI. It's hard enough sometimes, or perhaps most of the time, to provide services in compliance with contractual obligations while meeting targets and forecasting the future. However, as the Auditor General's report notes, it's no longer sufficient just to get people jobs. There's an expectation that Employment Ontario programs and their partners are preparing people for jobs that are full-time, that are in demand, and that have a future. There's an increasing need to look at labor market information and to develop and implement programs that will achieve these impactful goals. Your local Employment Planning Council has been tasked with providing local and actionable labor market information, and you heard earlier in this webinar about some of the recent reports and analysis that the LAPC has produced. We hear a lot about accountability, and few would argue that being accountable isn't important. Hitting targets is critical, but perhaps focusing on targets based on long-term outcomes rather than just based on immediate activity can help guide our work in a new direction. Let's look beyond the number of learners served, the number of clients who found a job, or future tradespeople who were signed as an apprentice, and forecast the long-term impact of those activities. Did these learners develop the essential skills that they needed to support their long-term educational, employment, and independence goals? Is the job our client found full-time, paying a livable wage, in their area of study, and in a job with a stable future? Did that apprentice successfully complete both their on-the-job and in-class training and pass their certificate of qualification to become a journey person? An expectation of the Ministry of Advanced Education and Skills Development, or MAESD, and indeed many other ministries, is that its funded agencies are involved in integrated service planning. But what does that really mean? It's more than individual agencies planning for themselves in an effort to achieve their targets. It's about working towards a system of services, and it's a system that's developed or built on LMI, the skills and knowledge needed in the workplace. It's also a system built on client feedback, learning from the experiences of those individuals we're trying to assist. Service providers, both those outside of and within the Employment Ontario network, have valuable insights into what is working well for clients and what is not. Having service providers involved in the conversation around system changes and improvements is critical. And last, but certainly not least, integrated service planning takes into consideration not only current clients' thoughts and service providers' reflections on their clients, but also recognizes that there may be potential clients who are not currently using services. How do we get feedback from non-clients to gain a deeper understanding of why individuals may not be accessing services at all? Your organization may not have the resources to garner perspectives from all of these sources or groups, but that is the role of the local Employment Planning Council, to gain first-hand information from employers on skill gaps and to consider those skill gaps in light of labor market information, client feedback, service provider intelligence, and where possible, input from individuals who are not yet or who have deliberately chosen not to become clients. Do you know that compared to the rest of Ontario, more people in the London economic region are not participating in the labor market? In other words, they're neither working nor looking for work. These are some of the non-clients we were just speaking about, and with research data and first-hand feedback garnered from over 150 local non-participants, the LAPC has information to share about why. Some of the key issues contributing to non-participation include the financial impact of losing benefits and subsidies, especially when childcare costs are taken into consideration, making the income from work not worth the challenge and expense incurred by working. A lack of resources, especially related to transportation and access to technology. Concerns related to discrimination on the basis of mental health, disability, race, or background. Lack of experience, education, or credentials, married with a feeling that training is not available to overcome those challenges. And most notably, a feeling of rejection and discouragement felt by those who are no longer seeking work. Part of the challenge for those who aren't working or looking for work is connecting them with local agencies in a position to support them, to advocate for them in the face of barriers, to help them access the training and certifications they need, and to connect them with the wraparound services that can help them overcome the discouragement they're feeling. Service providers from across the region have already been invited to come together to develop strategies to help people move back into the labor market, and more sessions will happen in the new year, so please watch for invitations. To show you what we mean by integrated service planning, let's use the example of apprenticeship. We know that there are challenges with apprenticeship completions. The recent Auditor General's report, through its 18 recommendations, noted several areas in which MAESD-funded programs could and should improve their outcomes related to apprenticeship. Before the release of the Auditor General's report, the local Employment Planning Council for the London Economic Region, along with their local MAESD office, had already noted apprenticeship completions as an issue, along with the impending or predicted shortage of skilled tradespeople. Together with the Apprenticeship Network, they held 5 sessions across the region in October and November, one in Elgin County, one in Oxford County, one in Middlesex County, and 2 in the City of London. 110 participants from school boards, local service agencies, Employment Ontario funded agencies, and beyond attended these sessions, where they learned more about apprenticeship, heard about resources to support apprentices and their sponsors, and engaged in discussion around the challenges they experience in preparing individuals for success in apprenticeship. And from these discussions across the LEPC region, several action items have been recommended. For example, developing and implementing a marketing campaign to promote apprenticeship both to employers and to students and job seekers. Of course, every agency could market separately to employers and create their own marketing materials, print them, and distribute them. But that would be a less effective approach than doing this work as a community or a region. Throughout the 5 sessions, we had the chance to hear about pre-apprenticeship programming, which gives job seekers opportunities to learn more about specific in-demand trades and get connected with potential employers. Many people are unaware that pre-apprenticeship programs exist or are unsure what they offer. We could make a more effective use of these programs through the use of concentrated marketing and a system of informed referrals. In the trades, there are several different paths one could take to gain recognized certification. But these different routes or pathways are not well understood by all community partners. The path to become a journey person can be quite complex, and as a region, we can do more to promote the various pathways to apprenticeship that exist. We will be discussing these recommendations with the Local Employment Planning Council's Central Planning Table and at service planning meetings around the region. We hope you'll join us and share your input. This has been a brief foray into some of the labor market information research that has recently been compiled and shared by the Local Employment Planning Council. As we've said, community discussions will be ongoing, and actions to promote better alignment between jobs and job seekers will continue to be identified. We all know our economy will be stronger if we work together. Our workforce will be better prepared if we collectively develop an understanding of what's happening locally in the labor market and explore the implications for services and programs. We hope you take advantage of opportunities to contribute to the overall conversation. For example, the Ontario Centre for Workforce Innovation, or OCWI, put out a request for ideas a few weeks ago through both their newsletter and by email. They were seeking information from Employment Ontario services on their challenges and opportunities. We hope you shared your thoughts to help the Centre build a deeper understanding of the activities and needs of the local Employment Ontario system. Our local OCWI representative will be visiting many Employment Ontario sites throughout the winter, and as added opportunities to work with them arise, we'll pass them along. In January 2017, Employment Ontario and Non-Employment Ontario service providers are invited to a series of sessions to further explore labor market information and its implication for programming. These sessions will be located throughout the London Economic Region, and service providers are invited to attend whichever session is most convenient. The 3 integrated planning sessions officially scheduled in the London Economic Region are on the following dates. In Middlesex County on Tuesday, January 10th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. In Elgin County on Wednesday, January 25th from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. And in London on Monday, January 30th from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. For more information about these sessions, including locations, and to register, please contact us at literacylink@gmail.com. We also invite you to watch for future webinars about labor market information like this one. Finally, we invite you to contact your partners in the Local Employment Planning Council with any questions you may have using the information on your screen. Thank you for joining me today for this discussion of labor market information and its impact on service planning. And we look forward to discussing how we can work together to plan integrated services reflective of the needs of our local labor market in the months ahead.